Hey Sri Krishna. Let's start discussion on very important topic that is an introduction to API. So I'll explain you in this video what is an API, where we use the API and what is the API is important. So let's first discuss and what is an API. So the API stand for application programming interface. So that the name itself state that it is an the application programming interface. So where it means that where the two applications how they are interacting with each other to transact their data. So the API measures that take a request and tell a system what you want to do, then the return spoke back to you. uh, Suppose let's consider one of the analogy, or let me give you an example of API. So you are using any, let's consider any application, UPI application, and you patch your the the account balance. So how it will happen? So UPI is a totally different application, and there is a player like Google Pay, Phone Pay, Amazon Pay, and many more Bharat Pay, many more players in this field. But how they, you will enter your the UPI and your select your account and gain submit, then it will be get the balance. So these all things work on the API basis. I'll give you the further explanation on that. And the API, it is and this set of rules that define how the application can communicate with each other. So there is set of rules how these two applications are communicate with each other. So basically API is a tool which we use to interact with two different application systems. So let's discuss on how does API working. So that definitely interviewer ask you. So first one, let's consider the example you are checking your account balance in the Google Pay application. So while you are working on your Google Pay, you just click on the check the balance button and you enter your the UPI pin and the select that particular bank. Let's suppose you are selecting the SBI bank. So select your SBI bank account and to enter your pin, and then click on the view balance button. So what does the system do in the backend? So it will take your request from your application and send to the API. So that send to the API and specify its need to get what you want. So it will take your account number, your the KYC number or your UPI pin, verify that you are the the unique customer or the you are the genuine customer, and take this and that process that request and receive the request to send to the server. So then that request the system will send to the server, and then server will take action. The server perform the request action such as fetching the data from the database. So on that basis, the whatever data you are sending to the the core banking system or the balance check system, so that will to do the actions and touch the account balance. And in response, in API response, they send the account balance, the receiver sends to the data balance on API, which will deliver in the application, and data is obtained in the format of JSON. So there is a many different formats, but most of the use in the JSON format, and then you can see your account balance on your screen. So these things will happen in the the backend with the API. So there is the API will work on the process or the step request processing action and response. So you should you the clear on this point. So let's discuss on the common types of API. So what are the common types of API? So there is a web API, library API, and the operating system API. So let's discuss on the web API. So basically the web API used for the communication over the internet, typically using the HTTPS. So you are to your the mobile banking or the internet banking, or you are using the different things to get the data from different services. You are using the Amazon or the Google Pay or you are using the retail pay, phone pay, Zomato applications to get to track the customer's location, how it will, it's a Google map. uh, they are interacting with each other with using the API system. So there are the two types of APIs in the web app, so RESTful API and the SOAP API. So let's discuss on the RESTful API. The most common and flexible type used in standard HTTP methods like a get, pull, or put, delete, and interact with the resource. So we will discuss this method in detail next slide. And there is a swap API. So it is and the more structure and XML based format API which is used in the enterprise environment and which is consumed by the many organizations in the swap API and the library APIs. When we want to connect different libraries or we want to interact with each other, the different libraries. So at that time we use the library APIs, and it is an the set of functions or routine that allow an application to interact with the software library. So there are the different libraries. So if we want to connect these libraries with each other, so then we will use a libraries API, and then the operating system. It's an also most important API. If you allow or if you want to connect the different operating system like Mac or the the Microsoft or OS, so such operating system or the Android our application to perform action to computer operating system with interact with each other. So these APIs we call as a operating system API. Let's discuss on the very important topic, why are APIs so important? Why? If you are going for any interview like business analyst, quality analyst, quant analyst, there is a most important and the common part in your CV should have the APIs, understanding of APIs. So why these are important? So first one is integration, innovation, automation, and it will increase the efficiency. So what is an integration? So API allow the different software and services product to connect and share the seamlessly information between each other whenever it requested by the users or whenever it needed to the user with API connection. And it is an the think of booking website that use an airline API to show the flight availability. Yes, absolutely correct. Suppose if you are to book the train ticket or the bus ticket, you are using the red bus, Oxico, or other different applications to do that thing. But the core server of that that application will be different. Let's suppose you are booking the train ticket from the Oxico or Redbus or the Confirm ticket. So you are entering your detail on that application, and how you are the core banking, the sorry the in your the IT in your the core rail ticket applications, how they are book that ticket. And if you log in your the IRCTC application, you can see your booking details. So how that will happen? So there is integration, API integration between these two systems or these two servers while you do the booking. And the innovation, so it is and the developer can build new and powerful APIs and powerful application by leveraging the existing services and data without building everything from scratch. We are doing to some applications like the Zomato application or the online shopping application, so you can track the status of the uh, the delivery boy. So how you able? So these are the tracking done from the Google Maps or the Google software. So this will help us. You don't need to build such kind of applications from the crash, and it will save you the lots of time, and it will increase the efficiency of the development team. And the automation, that's the API enable the application to talk each other automatically and eliminating the manual tasks. So after implementing the API system in the transaction monitoring system or the anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing, we are able to do the real-time transaction monitoring, or we are able to do the name screening or the payment screening of customers with with the real time. So how that will happen? Because this happen with the API. So API immediately send request to the different systems and check and get the response and update that response to the core banking system. So that is the important. And the efficiency, they create and standardized way to assess data and functionality, saving time and the resources. Obviously, with implementing the API in the system, so that will save the time and that will help us the resource to work in the more effective and more efficient way. So that's the importance of API. So let's move on the real world example of API. So what would be the real world example of API? So there are, I consider for you the four example, but there are in the lots and lots and many example. So let's suppose you are logging the social media application, like you are logging for the Instagram or Telegram, or you are logging for the any other applications of social media. So while you are logging these applications, so they will ask you to log in with the Google or the Facebook account. So if you click this account and enter your the the Google or Facebook login credentials, so what it does, so that the social media will take the reference from your Google account and hit the Google account server and take your data what they need and to update in their site, and they will automatically create your account in their platform. So that's will save your time and save your efforts to creating or to again entering your the basic details like first name, last name, or your mobile number, email ID. So that's the help from the social media account creation. And then the online shopping, a payment provider obviously handle the credit card transactions or the debit card transaction or the UPI transaction or the internet banking and the mobile prime transaction secretly without the e-commerce site or touching the card details or to get the card details or your the banking credentials or your the UPI credentials or the debit card credentials. So that's the important of shopping in online. And the travel side like Expedia or the Redbus, Oxico, Book My Trip. So they are consume the different APIs and various the airlines API or the train API or the bus API or the hotel API to display the minute prices and the availability. So how the prices will depend and how you can check the the prices of different hotels or the train tickets. So that's all things done by the API. There is a backend which work the APIs. And what are the weather apps? So they has the data weather services API to display the current the condition and the forecast. If you want to understand the current situation, so there is a most important role of API to get the current information. So let's discuss on the very key topic, that is a key concept, key API concept. So it is for the endpoint, it is for the HTTP methods, and the JSON is the format of to transact the data between the two systems. So the specific URL where the API is accessed, for example, api.weather.com forecast, or it is and the the gate API. So we don't need to request body for such API. So you just need to search API and that will give us in response from that servers. So there is a four or more different types of method, but I just consider for you the common and most usable HTTP methods words used in define the types of request in the API. So there is a get, put, post, and the delete. So what the get method will do? It will retrieve the data from the server for you when you hit the data by using the URL. And then the post method. So what does post method does for you? So it create the new data and in that system and add, and the put to updating the existing data in that system or to check, and the delete to remove the data. Let's suppose if you are using the different server, like you are using the the let's consider the one of the application that create your account in the core banking system or the banking system. So if you have the existing customer in that banking, so you just need to enter your the your unique customer ID, or you just need to enter your the mobile number. So on that basis the system will get data. So in that case you just need a get HTTPS method to your get data with using the your customer ID or the mobile number. Let's suppose the post. So if suppose you are the totally new for this system and you don't have account with that banks or that system, so you enter the post method. So you enter your the name, first name on that UI UX or your mobile number, email ID or the new password or the confirm password. So whatever detail you want, and you just click on the save data. So in that case, the your request body will take your data and URL will hit that server data, and they will create your account in that the system, and in the reference from that system they will send you your the unique code or the message your account is created in that successfully, or the login credential page. So where what the user ID and password you should take, so accordingly you will log in that data. So this will happen. And suppose you want to update your data, so if you want to change your the name, or if you want to change your the mobile number, email ID, or the the identification number, so you just need to update your that thing, to enter the new mobile number or new email ID, and just click on the save. So system will take a put a reference and to change and update your data and delete. If you want to delete some your orders, if you are on the online banking, the retail platform, and if you want to delete some orders, so this system will take the call the delete method and delete your data. So let's discuss on the JSON. So JavaScript object notation, a light weight human readable format for sending and receiving the data through the API. So these are the formats to send and receive the data from the different system. So let's discuss on the API security best practices. So authentication, HTTPS, and the request limiting and the input validation. So let's discuss on the authentication. Guys, authentication is most important if you want to stolen anyone's data from your server. So using the unique key or the token or the the request body or the headers in that your request to verify that the identity of the user and the application will be the the genuine, and the application making the request. So we will authenticate that this the request sent to the server through the API is an the genuine, or it is actually request from the end user by encrypting some methods in that the API request. Then HTTPS. So the all the API communication should be encrypted and HTTPS to protect the data from transit, and the anyone cannot understand or human cannot understand such the data. And the rate limit. So uh, preventing abuse and the denial of service attacks by limiting the number of requests individual can make a certain time frame to get the request, and by limiting the rate of searching and input validation, sanitize and validate all data received from API requests to prevent the injection tags, and to check and to verify that detail is correct by using the injection tags, or the criminal attacks on such data to stolen your data and to misuse these data to avoid these things. So we will do the API security best practices to prevent the data stolen straight. So let's conclude on these presentation or on these videos. So API are the backbone of software, modern software, and it will definitely consuming, or the HI API consuming will increase in the futures, and they are essential for building, connecting intellect and the scalable applications for the futures. And understanding how API work is a fundamental skill for any developer to IT professionals today. So it's and the more waste important topics for the API. So you should know, understand, and you should explain these all these things I'm mentioning this video to your interviewer. So once again, thank you so much, guys, for attending this video. If you like my efforts and my teaching style, please do like and subscribe my channel. So that's motivate me to create more such videos for you. So once again, thank you so much, and do learn new things, get the certification if you want to increase your salary, and if you want to compete the current market. So thanks.